Hello and welcome to News 360. We are live from the News Hub here in Accra. My name is Hisamoni.
And I'm Natalie Ford. So look at the top stories this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxipate, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray.
No show in Parliament as officials of National Identification Authority fail to turn up for Ghana card registration.
President Akufo-Addo charges members of the boards of 3 development authorities to deal with inequality and imbalances in the development of the country.
Also ahead in business this evening, the Public Procurement Authority insists it did due diligence on the contract between Kelny, GVG and government.
And international news, United States says its discussion with North Korea are moving more quickly than expected.
Thanks for staying with us here on News 360. We've got the details of these stories, including news from the world of sports, business and entertainment. As always, our bulletin is streaming live all across the world on 3news.com. In our very first story this evening, officials of the National Identification Authority failed to show up at the Parliament House today for the registration of the Ghana card. Though minority members of Parliament had planned a boycott of the process, the authority made all the necessary arrangements to commence the process for the lawmakers.
The National Identification Authority had indicated it was going to register MPs for the Ghana card beginning Monday, June 11. On Sunday, the minority in Parliament issued a statement saying they will not participate in the registration process, citing legal, procurement and cost concerns. The majority members of Parliament were, however, expected to take part in the process, but there was no show, as officials of the NIA failed to turn up for the exercise. It was 11 Monday morning here at the Parliament House, and there was no indication that the exercise would take place. The place is dead, just like any other Monday where there are no proceedings. We were told officers from the National Identification Authority were here on Friday to test their equipment, which our sources confirmed worked perfectly for a start on Monday. Surprisingly, not even a single member of Parliament was also available for the registration. Member of Parliament for Damongo, Adam Mutawakilu, from the minority side, who was here to do his administrative duties, said they will agree to take part in the process if only the NIA briefs Parliament.
They were to meet Parliament to brief us about their preparedness towards the registration. Okay. Even before we met them, we should come and register. When we have issues to raise, I don't think that is fair. They must have patience, meet us in Parliament, convince us as to what they are doing. Then you come and register.
Meanwhile, efforts to get officials of the National Identification Authority to answer why they failed to turn up has proved futile. Registration of the Ghana card was supposed to have started 2 weeks ago, and the Parliament House was part of the few institutions that was supposed to take part in the process. But due to some technical challenges, the process could not take place. Now, it is not clear the reason for which this time around it is not taking place, but probably it could be as a result of the fact that the minority side of Parliament is boycotting the process. For TV3, Kwabna Edu Jemfi. Parliament.
President Akufo-Addo has commissioned a $370 million new container and multipurpose container terminal at the Takoradi Port as part of the port expansion project. The new facility will enable the Takoradi Port handle bigger vessels.
2017, the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority and Abistec Limited, a wholly Ghanaian-owned company, entered into a concession agreement to undertake the funding and development of a new container and multi-purpose terminal at the Takoradi Port to be called Atlantic Terminal Services. The terminal is expected to handle some over 1 million equivalent units of TEUs. Chairman of the Abistec Limited, Kwame Jan, indicated that even before the project commences, the company is sending more than $6 million to embark on some corporate social responsibility projects.
The August concession agreement requires Abistec Limited, the concessionaire, to relocate the existing oil jetty at the Takoradi port and to reconstruct the road from Parkland Roundabout through New Takoradi to Gate 10 in the port. Minister
of Transport Kweko Foria Siama announced government has secured a World Bank facility to construct a dry bulk at the Takoradi port, and work is expected to commence in August.
The project, which is to give a facelift to a container handling at the port of Takoradi, includes reclamation of land, construction of quays, and the installation of state-of-the-art equipment. Another project, which will soon come on stream as part of the Takoradi Port expansion project, is a dry bulk project.
President Akufo-Addo explained expansion of port in neighboring countries makes it imperative for Ghana to do same for it to stay competitive.
Impose upon us a need for us also to modernize our infrastructure and enhance our port capabilities and capacities in order to further our goal of creating a competitive economy which can generate jobs and create wealth for our people.
The president later commissioned a 1.9-kilometer road from the Takoradi Parkland Roundabout to the Gate 10 at the Takoradi port, and also an off-dock container terminal, Tech Hotel.
On to some other news this evening. Director of Medical Services at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Samuel Isiama, failed to turn up and accept the handing over notes prepared by his predecessor, Dr. Felix Anya. The disappointed outgoing CEO of the hospital, Dr. Anya, promised to present the handing over notes to him.
Dr. Felix Anya was surprised and shocked that Dr. Samuel Isiama failed to turn up for the handing over ceremony. He explained that Dr. Isiama early Monday morning informed him of having a tight schedule. Though he appeared not disturbed about his absence, Dr. Anya assured to look for Dr. Isiama to present the handing over notes.
I wish he had turned up, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess he went somewhere. He hasn't arrived yet.
He knew you were going to have this handing over.
The arrangements that were handled by the administration. Yeah.
So, but did you see him this morning?
I saw him, but he said he's engaged with some issues.
So he didn't attach any importance to your handing over?
Oh, no, the handing over is not completed. I have to hand over the actual happenings to him. And
you carried them. This is what the young man is carrying.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, your man did not turn up.
Yeah, so the day is not ended.
Already, some staff at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital have been wondering what reasons could be attributed to the exit of Dr. Felix Anya. They also raised concerns about Dr. Isiama's inability to turn up for the handing over ceremony.
So you don't have confidence in him?
The new coming CEO, I don't think. I'm telling you honestly, I've worked in Korle Bu since 2003. The CEOs will go, he will take up, another one will come, he will hand over. And there has not been any changes. But Dr. Anya has done so much.
It's my hope that whatever good projects that Dr. Felix Anya started, the new leadership would complete and consolidate it, and then also try and move the hospital to higher heights.
A statement from the Minister of Health indicated that Dr. Anya was due for retirement. This, however, did not go down well with him.
Over age, I have nothing against it. It is the truth. And so I have nothing at all about it. However the government does things, I support what the government will do. I'm a Christian. Some things don't work the way you work. You would like it. But that's the way life should be.
During his one-year period as the CEO of Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Felix Anya facilitated the installation of 2 oxygen plants at a cost of 72,000 euros. He also declined on all allowances and salaries, which earned the praise of some staff. Other staff who were present at his ceremony encouraged the incoming administration of the hospital to consider doing the same.
sure he will be remembered by a lot at Kolebu. Now, President Akufo-Addo has charged members of the boards of the 3 development authorities to do all within their power to deal with the inequality and imbalances which have derailed efforts at promoting effective national development. Inaugurating the board members of all 3 development authorities and the Zongo Development Fund, the president charged them to work with the limits of their budgets.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will at all times.
That I will at all times.
Well and truly serve the Republic of Ghana.
Well and truly serve the Republic.
The 3 development authorities are tasked with the implementation of the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program. The program will also be responsible for ensuring the effective disbursement of the equivalent of $1 million per constituency per year in fulfillment of President Akufo-Addo's 2016 campaign pledge. President Akufo-Addo said it is unfair that there are disparities when it comes to development in the country and urged the new board to introduce a new paradigm shift on how the country's capital expenditure is used.
You have to stay within those limits. You have to make sure that those limits are indeed limits, that you don't overrun the budget, because at the end of the day, the bigger the administrative cost of your work, the less opportunity there is for the investment in the development of your various regions. I'm very confident about the quality of people that have been assembled to assist in discharging this important initiative. It's new in the public space of our country. We had a limited version of it with the SADA. We have an opportunity to start off on a clean slate and build something that will inure to the benefit of the people of Ghana.
Chairman of the Coastal Development Board, Edmond Annan, promised to deliver.
We see a new direction. You have set clear milestones. We will therefore apply the skills set for a patient and yet aggressive negotiator to navigate through the labyrinth of ministries, government and quasi-government institutions, traditional authorities, NGOs, the international community, leaders in communities, to enable us carry through successfully the mandate that you have given us.
Now, the commissioning of the boards of these various development authorities is what you saw then. These CEOs and board chairpersons who have been selected by the president are certainly mandated to work within the budget, the respective budgets given to ensure development in their various zones. I'm going to run us by who these various chairpersons and CEOs are. Now, Edmond Annan is the board chairman of the Coastal Development Authority. That's the section which is given to him. Samuel Atamensah is the CEO of the Coastal Development Authority as well, while Alex Kweku Kranche is the board chairman of the Middle Belt Development Authority, and Joe Dankwa is the CEO of the Middle Belt Development Authority. So each of the development authorities have a board chairman and, of course, have a CEO to carry out the day-to-day activities. Hakeem Ahmed Wema is the board chairman of the Northern Development Authority, while the CEO of the Northern Development Authority is Dr. Abdul Majid. And what they're going to be looking out for here is to ensure that each of these persons, the board chairman, the board in general, and the chief executive officers selected, certainly work within their budget and see development in these various areas. Isa.
Thank you, Natalie. What a moment to speak to Asa Mohammed. He's a lecturer at the University of Development Studies, and we are talking about development authorities in Ghana. Hello, Asa, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening, my brother.
Right. So what should be the board's first priority as they take office?
Yes, thank you very much, and good evening to your cherished listeners. I think it's good to be part of this discussion, and I'm happy to be called on this opportunity. And then I think it's good that the president has created this important authority, and then as you rightly asked, what should be their role? I think their role now should be getting onto the ground and planning unique and specific planning for those ecological areas that the boards, the authorities are established for.
So, Asa, being aware of the challenges of SADA and the seemingly failure of the decentralized government, what can they do differently?
Yeah, that's a big question, and that is where I've always said that development by itself is not a straightforward line, and we cannot probably conclude that whatever development planning that failed in the past cannot work today. It's about how we'll be able to pick lessons from the past. And I've always said that, look, it's about our intuition, it's about the art of development that has to guide us. So if we have understood that in the past our decentralization, SADA came in and then had its own challenges, and therefore we have decided to go and do things differently, and then now we have decided to divide the country into 3 ecological locations, then it means that we have thought of it seriously, and then we are beginning to think another way. So I will not try to probably judge that we did something wrong in the past, therefore we should probably be doing something wrong again. And for sure, we probably might have learned a lot of lessons from SADA. So today, we expect the board to do a lot of reflection on what actually happened in SADA. That was a good lesson that we learned from SADA. In development planning, we always say, please don't always want to get it right before you move forward. The mistakes that you've made are also essential for planning, and that means that you'll be able to pick lessons from those mistakes, and then you can plan better for the future. And we always say planning is for the future. So I will agree to anybody who will be a bit more skeptical about what happened in the past, but I also want to join hands to celebrate the efforts that we have made as a country to continuously persist to still champion the development planning as the only way for us to move out of the current predicaments that we have as a country.
Yeah, as we're talking about getting it right, do you know if there are committees at the various development authorities to feed directly into, the authorities so that they can have development which are peculiar to their locality?
Thank you very much. Yes, to me, I don't think the structures are ready for us to take these human plans that we are trying to put in place. Our decentralization system is not working as we expected. The other decentralized authorities at the regional and then the municipal levels, apart from these assemblies, are not also equally working effectively. But I also think that if we begin to section the country within ecological areas to have unique and see generic kind of plans, then it will feed to the broader national development goal, and will also reflect on what plans we can have at the decentralized level. I know many of the assemblies plan. Unfortunate thing we have in Ghana is that the assemblies have their medium-term plans, but most often they don't follow those ones because they are not really gazetted. Nobody is really strictly enforcing that the assemblies implement their own designed medium-term plans. So if we have the development authorities, for instance, within the Northern Development Authority, Southern Development, the Middle Development Authority, and the Coastal, they'll be able to help during that process of planning. We have left the whole process of the district assembly or local level planning to the hands of the NDPC, which in a way has not also been incapacitated.
All right. Asa, I like your contribution. We may need some more time to delve deeper into these issues. Asa Mohammed is a lecturer at the University of Development Studies.
Certainly, Issa. But on to our MTN Vision reports this evening, as our citizen journalist, Bernal Ahmed, reports on the state of the main Kaswa Nyanyano Road.
This is main Kaswa Nyanyano Road. The construction started since 2016. And after the handing over, we don't know what is happening to the contractor. We are left with only the dust. My name is Ben Ahmed.
Certainly a worrying situation. Remember that you can also send your MTN Vision report via WhatsApp number. That's 055-1433-044. 055-1433-044.
You're on News 360 and we will return shortly with the business news.
Welcome back to News 360. Time now for some news from the world of business. The Public Procurement Authority says the authority did due diligence on the contract between Kelny GVG and government. The 5-year renewable $89 million contract is expected to block revenue losses in the telecommunications sector and curb SIMBOX fraud.
Imani Africa and Occupy Ghana have flogged the deal. 2 Ghanaians have also filed a suit at the Human Rights Division of the High Court, praying the court to prevent the Ministry of Communications and other defendants from allowing a third party, Kelny GVG, to have access to their private data. Answering a question on the deal at the launch of a supplier database in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the Public Procurement Authority, Ejenim Boatin Ejay, said the Kelny GVG contract went through a restrictive tendering process.
We are unable to comment on lapses at this stage, but what we can say to the public is that they did apply for restrictive tendering and they were granted permission to undertake the restrictive tendering. We will use another forum to give more details on that particular case, but we are telling the public that the ministry, through National Communication Authority, applied for the use of restrictive tendering method, of which they were granted approval to proceed.
Meanwhile, the newly developed centralized supplier registration portal is available on www.ppagghana.org at an initial registration fee of 300 cedis and $200 for local and foreign firms. The Chief Executive Officer of the PPA said documentations will be taken through a rigorous vetting process for verification and validation to establish their credibility to engage Government of Ghana tenders and execute contracts.
That any supplier that is selected for a shortlist by any of these procuring entities, that supplier must be on PPA's website, on this database, so that because of the vetting and the validation that we are undertaking, as comprehensive as it is, it brings in credibility. So nobody can question that you just came onto PPA website and picked cronies and friends to participate in the tender. So we are actually introducing some sanity and credibility into our procurement landscape.
Yes, sir. And on to some more business news. In the aviation sector, Ghana is lobbying the ECOWAS Commission to host the proposed regional aircraft maintenance facility. Aviation Minister Cecilia Abena-Dapa, who dropped the hint at a 3-day validation workshop of ECOWAS member state experts in Accra, argues Ghana has the best environments to facilitate the agenda for growth.
Air transport plays an important role in the economic and fiscal integration of West Africa. If properly harnessed, it could become the key driver of socio-economic development of the 15 member states of the ECOWAS region, which currently lacks efficient, reliable and affordable air transport system. The sector will again facilitate the attainment of regional integration agenda by providing fast connectivity to major cities in the sub-region, whilst contributing to the expansion and deepening of intra-African trade and tourism. However, ECOWAS member states have only 16% of the African air transport market due to a myriad of factors, including poor connectivity, inadequate number of aircraft, weak human capacity, fleet acquisition, and financing challenges, the absence of a regional aircraft maintenance facility has compounded matters. A validation workshop of ECOWAS experts will review the draft study report on a common policy on aviation charges, taxes and fees, as well as report on the update of the business plan for a regional aircraft maintenance facility.
And I'm appealing to them to choose Ghana. This will bring us a lot of socioeconomic development to grow our GDP. It will also provide jobs for the experts in the aviation industry.
Cecilia Abnadapa has pushed for a single African air transport market agenda.
The single Africa air transport market matters more now than ever before in the face of global competition, partnerships, alliances and mergers by our foreign competitors.
Commissioner for Infrastructure at the ECOWAS Commission spoke about the criteria for selecting a country to host the aircraft maintenance center.
It is not again ECOWAS' job to continue or to select or to implement, because it is in a commercial trade sector. It is we are offering opportunity to the private sector or any investor to continue the project.
Director General of Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Simon Alote, on his part, wants effective collaboration to deal with challenges in the sector.
A number of projects require resources and capacities which may be beyond what could be offered by a single state. Strategically, a regional organization speaks with a louder voice than a single state. We should therefore collaborate and leverage our strengths in addressing our identified regional challenges.
Now in some stories relating to education, Platinum Montessori and Green Valley School successfully triumphed over Odogono Model 1 and 2 Junior High School of the first zonals of the Constitutional Quiz program organized by Cowbell and the NCCE. They've currently qualified to the quarterfinals and will battle for the ultimate prize in the competition. The competition, an initiative of the Ghana Central Municipal Office of the National Commission of Civic Education, NCCE, started in 2014, is to enable pupils study the Constitution in order to become responsible citizens and actively participate in the political process in Ghana. This year, 235 junior and senior high schools are participating in the 5th edition.
We had about 3 municipalities joining us, and in this year we have about 5 districts joining us, so we have about 6 districts now competing. Now through the help of Cowbell, we are coming out and people have started seeing us.
Brand manager for Cowbell, Joseph Ashong, said the partnership with the NCCE is one of the strategies that will ensure children are well informed on the Constitution. According to him, as a brand that promotes good education and helps in the development of the mind, Cowbell aims to educate school children on the Constitution.
As part of our long-term plan, we are looking at by 2020 we should be covering about 5 regions with this competition. This year we are actually recruiting Ashanti region and Brongahafo region as well. We are starting with a modest number of schools who have actually agreed to participate, and they are going to start theirs in September.
The NCCE Cowbell Quiz has been renamed to Cowbellpedia. The grand finale of Cowbellpedia has been scheduled for 2nd week of October 2018. In some other business news, Ghana has been singled out as one of the most prominent development partners in the promotion of ideals of a free world amongst 120 countries present at the 2018 Global Media Forum in Germany. Director General of DWTV said quality media content should not be compromised in the face of free media. Naneka Mensah Brampa has more.
The 2018 Global Media Forum opened with participants from 120 countries across the globe gathered to discuss issues on global inequality. It brought together decision makers and influencers from the world of journalism, digital media, politics, business, civil society, and academia. In his opening remarks, Director General of Deutsche Welle, Peter Limburg, highlighted on the challenges that the media face globally and its effects on global inequality. Minister-President at the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany, Armin Laschet, spoke on global economic changes and the duty of the media.
It is about how we can maintain social cohesion in societies around the globe, especially in the context of the major economic changes that are caused by the digital revolution.
He further highlighted on Ghana's relationship with Germany and how effective this will bring both countries together through business and exchange programs in coming years. The Global Media Forum will feature keynote speeches, panel discussions, and hands-on workshops tackling journalism's big questions. Global inequality is widespread, some visible and others obscure, from institutional racism, income inequality, and power balance. It's sometimes complex and deeply rooted in our systems. Are the media ready to fight inequality? These and more will be discussed here at the Global Media Forum 2018. Lanekia Mensa Brampa, TV3, Bonn, Germany.
And we're bringing you more from the 2018 Global Media Forum in subsequent bulletins. On to you, Isa, for some more news.
Thank you, Natalie. And Accra High Court, presided over by Justice Clemens Honyenuga, has adjourned the case involving the former Cocoa Board Chief Executive, Dr. Stephen Kwabena Opuni, businessman, Seydou Agongo, and Agricult Ghana. Now, this is to allow the court to deliver its ruling on an application by lawyers of the accused persons demanding pre-trial disclosures of all documents before trial begins. Here's a report by Salom Amenya.
The presiding judge insisted on getting a certified true copy of the Supreme Court decision delivered on June 7 on pre-trial disclosure in criminal trials to serve as a guide. Justice Clemens Honyenuga stated the registrar of the Supreme Court had assured that he would get a copy of the Supreme Court decision by close of day Monday, June 11, 2018, hence the adjournment of the case. Dr. Opuni's lawyers had prayed the court to make the Attorney General hand over all the documents the prosecution will rely on, including names of witnesses, and those that will not be tendered in as evidence be handed over to them. This led to the High Court decision to hold on the case pending the Supreme Court decision on the case between former National Communication Authority Board Chair Eugene Bafuboni and 4 others. Their lawyers, like Dr. Opuni's lawyers, were also seeking an interpretation of Article 19, Clause 2, E and G of the 1992 Constitution. The Supreme Court, however, ruled last week that the state should hand over the requested document but can withhold some in the interest of the public, as well as if it is to protect state secrecy or the prosecution witness. The case has been adjourned to Wednesday, June 13.
On to education. Difficulty in accessing some communities and inadequate teachers are some factors worsening the level of education in areas known as overseas in the northern region. Some basic schools in the North Gonja and Sabuba districts are currently being manned by between 1 and 3 teachers instead of the required 6 to 8 teachers. Here's a report by Peter Kwao Adato.
The White Volta and Oti rivers separates the North Gonja and Sabuba district from the rest of the northern region. Teachers, we are told, do not usually accept posting to these areas because of the difficulty in accessing the communities. The few who do struggle each day to access their schools. Mankerigu, one of the areas in the North Gonja district, for instance, is about 45 kilometers from Nawuli, which is about a 30-minute drive from Tamale. To get to Mankerigu by transport, one will have to go through Bolgatanga, Navrongo, Sandema and Fumbisi, winding through both Upper East and West regions, covering about a 14-hour journey. After crossing the White Volta here at Nawuli, with this small old boat, the teacher is expected to walk over 40 kilometers to Mankerigu unless he or she owns a motorbike or bicycle. The 14 schools in the Mankerigu circuit are manned by only 45 teachers
with some schools having only 1 or 2 teachers.
At times, the children will go to school, and then when teachers are let's say in 2 classes, the other classes, no teachers. You see that those children will go out. Children, they are not like adults. When there's no teacher in the class, definitely the child will go out. The child will go out and they go to the house and tell the father that no, oh, they have not taught it today, or there's no teacher in our class. Our teacher has not come. You see, so because of that, most parents do send their children to farms or any activity they will just engage them.
Kucha, Butue, Kungil, Kachin, and Malba, all in the Sabuba district, are also separated by the Oti River in the east. Both teachers and students can only access their school by using this canoe, while paying about 5 to 20 cedis per trip based on the level of the water. 7 students were told nearly lost their lives on Friday, June 1, attempting to cross the Oti River from Kucha for their BEC exams at Saboba. A teacher also drowned in 2014 while crossing the river to school. To reduce the risk associated with crossing the river, the Ghana National Association of Teachers (NAT) has supplied life jackets to the 2 districts.
Engage them and see how best we could do to at least reduce the challenges and the difficulties our members go through. Those that we cannot resolve immediately, we carry them along to the powers that be and the duty bearers to see how best those issues could be resolved.
The teachers expressed gratitude to NAT but appealed for a bridge or fiber boat to facilitate movement across the 2 rivers.
I also want to use this opportunity to also appeal to the benevolent organization, the District Assembly of Saboba, the government, so that if something can be done, at least a bridge to help us always have easy access to both sides of the communities.
Oh, so that's your worry one there. You're still live here on News 360. We've got some news for you from the world of sports coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back to News 360. On the international front this evening, the United States says its discussions with North Korea are moving more quickly than expected ahead of the summit in Singapore on Tuesday. The preliminary talks between officials have been taking place ahead of the unprecedented first meeting between the 2 leaders. While former President John Dramani Mahama has expressed lack of confidence in the Trump administration and its foreign affairs policies in relation to Africa. Speaking at a public discussion on U.S.-Africa relations organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs, he bemoaned the lack of a senior officer for African affairs 2 years into the Trump administration. President Trump's alleged description of African countries as shithole resulted in public condemnation globally. Former U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson was fired when concluding his Africa tour in 2018. The news of his firing came through a tweet posted by President Donald Trump. Such incidents have caused many to question the level of commitment of the U.S. president towards U.S.-Africa affairs. Speaking at a public discussion on U.S.-Africa relations organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, former President John Mahama noted the protectionism policy of the Trump administration is leading to America losing the soft power it has long been known for.
The U.S. has been the leading world power, and most of the world has looked up to the U.S. in times of crisis. That appears to be changing. If you're going to be methodical and transactional in dealing with your relationships with the rest of the world, then you lose the value of that soft power that everybody has had, always looking to America when there's been, issues to deal with.
President John Mahama further expressed lack of confidence in the Trump administration and its handling of foreign affairs in relation to Africa. He noted any agreement formed between North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump during the summit on June 12 is uncertain. Well, we're looking forward to the outcome of the meeting. That's tomorrow in Singapore. We have some entertainment news coming up with Miriam shortly. Stay with us.
So it's the Monday after the big weekend. Ghana meets Niger was over the weekend, and the name on everybody's lips is Patapizi. One Ghana hitmaker Patapa, now of course known as Patapizi, was the toast of a 9th Ghana Meets Niger concert. Spearheading the Ghanaian side, the Swedru-based singer did not only perform his hit song One Kana, but also showed off his prowess as a great dancer. A report by Osu Warai.
A special appellation heralded his arrival. The Patapa soldiers walked him onto the stage. The sight of his religious robe sent the fans agog. Coming through in Anana style, Article 1 joined Patapizi to perform their latest release, The Fin. Fans particularly couldn't have enough of the hook of the song, but beyond that, Patapizi had a great time with patrons. The excitement heightened as he showed off his boogieing skills. Enjoying wild cheers from the elated crowd, Patapizi found a reason to dance. Characterized by jerky arm and shoulder movements, the dance moves got fans to fall in love with Patapizi's stagecraft.
The big boys, the Kim Promise, Stone Boy, they really disappointed me today. But my man for Ghana was Patapa. I mean, we have disrespected his craft from day one, and he has always proven to us that is the ish. And today you saw what he did. He is the one who fought for Ghana. All the people who came to joke.
So my top 3 performances: Patapa, number 1, Wizkid, number 2, then Chatawali.
Right. Patapa.
And what is that dance called?
With Asabi, different style. I don't know I'm for when you just say now. You need to Patapa.
Sasa na different today soccer there. Okay. Soccer there. You say me you say now. Asa no different you know soccer there.
And away from Patapa, aside football, skipper of the Black Stars, Asamoah Gyan's passion for music is admired by many. Teaming up with Castro, Gyan has in the past produced club bangers, including African Girls, Do the Dance, and other part done in 2013. But what's the latest with the footballer's music career? Osu Warai catches up with him.
The celebrated footballer was among the crowd of music lovers at the 2018 Ghana Meet Niger concert. Baby Jet made a surprise appearance on stage performing Dirty Enemies, a song done with dancehall star Stone Boy. Fans enjoyed the nostalgia as Baby Jet again did an a cappella of African Girls, a club banger recorded with his friend Castro, a famed singer who mysteriously disappeared in 2014. The footballer said he missed his partnership with Castro.
You know, it's been a while, you know, since I've been on stage, you know, talking about my brother, Castro, it was way back, you know, and I feel the presence, you know, and at least I was able to entertain the fans.
In 2017, Asamoah told reporters Castro's disappearance derailed his music career. What is new with Jan's music career?
Yeah, how far the music career? Yeah. We are trying. You know, music is my second hobby. You know, I'm not a musician, so I've taken it as a hobby. You know, but sometimes I try to do something and then the people like it. You know, so I feel blessed. You know, as I'm talking to you, I'm about to release a new single. You know, yeah.
Well, that's about it for entertainment tonight. There's more news on the 3news.com website. My name is Miriam. I'll catch you on the Urban Blend tomorrow at 10 on 3 FM 92.7. Hi, Nutley.
Hi, Miriam. Thanks for that.
That will be it for this edition of News360. My name is Issa Moni.
And I'm Nasty Force. Visit our website. It's 3news.com for some more news. Thanks so much for watching. Have an incredible evening.